It is finally playoff time for the Detroit Tigers because we are, in fact, going to avoid mentioning what happened last year when we did make it and I accidentally simmed the series and we lost. We're going to ignore that. It's playoff time for the Tigers, finally. Now, I say finally. In fairness, with this type of series, we actually made it in a decent amount of time. Again, for us to make it last year, decent enough, and then for us to make it this year. And I know at the end of the season I did kind of skip over a bunch of stuff, but I was very much afraid to accidentally make the same mistake. So we're going to do a quick recap on the season before getting into this playoff matchup. So again, 98 wins on the year. We take the AL Central. Hopefully, though, we ultimately don't fall short, as, of course, Baltimore and Boston also made it. The Rangers, of course, who we're taking on, won the AL West. So, very intrigued to see what happens there. In the NL East, you had the Braves make it, the Reds make it out of the Central. The West saw three teams, the Rockies, Padres, and Giants, all make the playoffs. Now, obviously, you can see it here. We have some league leaders and some award winners to talk about. But for the moment, I'm going to go to the injured list because we do have a pretty big injury. We are going to be without Jed Jordan for this postseason run. Now, not the best win-loss record this year, but he has been one of our most consistent pitchers. He had a 3.86 ERA with a 1.32 whip through 144 innings worked. That's a pretty big loss. 2.2 WAR on the year up to that point. I mean, he's got a 9.6 career WAR rating as well, which is impressive seeing as how long he's been with this team and for how bad we were in the early stages. He's consistently been one of our better pitchers. He's 29 years old, and that brings us into, we're also without Peter Arabu, by the way, but that brings us into what this team's going to be looking like heading into this series. Now, for me, it's a little bit tough to say who should be getting the start or not, because if you look at the stats here, Alan Boykin arguably should be the ace heading into this series. 13-7 on the season. A very impressive 3.36 ERA, and you look at what he's done over the past 4 years, he's been absolutely tremendous, which is not what you would have expected from a C potential guy, but he has been one of our top pitchers. The FIP rating is a little bit higher than I'd prefer it to be, admittedly, but still, in terms of running with him as the Game 1 starter, might not be the worst idea. Bobby Gaucho, his rookie season, 11-8. A 3.4 ERA, a 126 whip. Very, very happy with him. Again, the FIP maybe a little bit higher than I prefer it to be. But again, we labeled him our future ace, and right now he's getting close. And then Mitch Vargas also had a decent season. The 30-year-old at this point. Straight threes for the ERA with that 9-7 record on the season. And you look at that, it's like any of those guys could really go for it. Now, Ken Linder is our ace, so it's tough to say whether or not he should get the start or not, despite the fact that, he's our highest rated pitcher, but the stats haven't exactly been phenomenal. So it's kind of a tough call. And then Ken Francis was relegated to the bullpen this season. He's a higher overall than what it indicates right now, but obviously, compared to what he had done the past 2 seasons, he had a down year this year, unfortunately. So a lot of options. Excuse me, as I just can't clear my throat. A lot of options, starting pitcher-wise, as far as who to use. And I don't really know what I want to do. I don't. Do I go with the guys who are on the hot streak? Do I go with the guy who's been tremendous? I mean, Francis has been good too. I wouldn't be surprised if, obviously, we use certain starters and then break it up a little bit. There's a couple of different ways we could go about it. And then bullpen-wise, right now I have this ordered, aside from Eric Encarnacion, who we know is a monster, we have that bullpen ordered by who's been the most effective pitchers for us this season. Encarnacion, we already know. I mean, the fact that he's 29 years old already is insane. But, I mean, a 52-save season for him, which is tremendous. I mean, he has a 3.63 career ERA, a 1.32 career whip at this point. He is a monster. He is a monster. And hopefully, we get to use him a little bit consistently, whether in those save situations or just, using him in general, because that makes sense. But Gerald Short is without a doubt the second best arm that we have in the pen right now. ERA solid this year. The whip was phenomenal for a reliever. The FIP a little bit high, though, so we'll see what happens there. Silva, the Rule 5 pickup, very good season. It was actually his first year in the majors. I'm fairly happy with him, especially considering what the alternative was. So excited to see how reliable he proves to be. And he could also be used as a long reliever with that 59 stamina. Jonas Rivera, the 28-year-old rookie out of Colombia. It was his second season with us. He got a lot more work this year. Numbers were a bit weaker, but still, compared to what the alternative could have been, it's not too bad. Andrew Montez, his pro career hasn't exactly gone as I was hoping. The FIP rating's phenomenal lows, so maybe that's a good sign. And then Colt Vaughan, he just wasn't good this year. So I don't know how much we'll use him, if at all, in this upcoming series. Lineup-wise, this is the team that we are rolling with now. I want to start off with Newton because he was actually pretty solid this year, all things considered. At 360 on base, very happy with. A 792 OPS, pretty happy with, but obviously that's not enough to get him, into the starting lineup. Lee Yu also still, a tremendous option for us. Between him and Charley Mares, we have options to bring into the lineup in case anybody struggles. And looking here, Chad Brown's not the fastest, but he is going to be our leadoff man. He doesn't have the best attributes in the world either, but he's been tremendous, in my opinion. 20 home runs, 47 RBIs on the year, so a little bit weaker in that, in that regard. But the average, the OPS, the on base percentage to begin with, he's been really good this year. Normally, Scottie Valentine would be our leadoff man. Cabral had a great season. 33 home runs, 105 RBIs, a 939 OPS. So I feel a little bit weird about having him in the 2 spot, but we have some very effective power hitters through the middle of this lineup. We start off with Justin Summers. I wouldn't be surprised if he took home hardware this year. 340 average, straight 9s for an OPS. 28 home runs, 101 RBI. Tremendous. Thank God we held on to him. And then Ralph Mosley, who wasn't hitting higher up in the lineup, still hit 41 home runs with 108 RBIs because, Jesus Christ, if he gets a hold of the ball, it goes. It's just, does he get a hold of it? If he does, it's gone. It's like me in Little League. I had a horrible swing. I tried to uppercut the ball, but if I got it, it would go. I didn't get it too often, though. I was a much better fielder, kind of like Ralph Mosley. Jeff Mendoza could be the leadoff man. We have him in the 5 spot right now. That's the one thing I love about this lineup is the versatility. But 37 home runs, 91 RBIs, and 895 OPS this year with 21 stolen bases. Mr. Parra, also pretty damn good. 19 home runs, 71 RBIs, and 819 OPS. Miguel Coronado, his second season, last year's Rookie of the Year. A little bit weaker on the RBIs this year, better on the home runs. The OPS down to a 784. Still had a 346 on base. And then Scottie Valentine, like I said, just hasn't been his usual self, I want to say, but he was much better than he was last year. And then Carlos Quevedo is one of those guys where it's like, okay, you look at some of the stats here, the 726 OPS. When, again, the 24 home runs, 79 RBI, I'm intrigued to see what he's going to bring in this postseason because right now he's the DH. So he could easily lose his spot to one of these two if he's not performing to the level that he can perform at. So we'll have to wait and see. But looking here at the league leaders, Justin Summers led the AL in batting average, or the major league in batting average, as Eric Encarnacion with 52 saves, and Bobby Gaucho, 4 shutouts, led the way. So guarantee we're going to see some hardware here, and we do. And really, it was only one. Summers wins the Silver Slugger. Willie Adams, the Adams, wins MVP for the AL. Kyle Tucker wins it in the NL. Cy Young to Victor Alcantara. And I guess that'd be Davey Garcia. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Justin Summers wins the batting title, which is great news for us. Juan Soto wins it in the NL. Reliever of the Year, Elvis Luciano and Scotty Squires. Rookie of the Year, Clifford Pride and Chris Gill out of San Francisco. Hank Aaron Awards to Willie and Bill Gerard. And that's that. And again, as far as Silver Sluggers are concerned, Ralph Mosley won for catchers. Very good. Very, very good indeed. So that sets the stage for this. We're taking on Texas. Let's see what we're going up against here as we make the playoffs for just the second time. This is their team. Jordan Yamamoto leading the way alongside Cole Winn, Sam Carlson, tremendous numbers for him, Leon Richardson, and Gregory. I guess it would be Leon as opposed to Lion. I don't know. Maybe someone named it. It's Florida. You could believe that someone named their kid Lion in Florida. Gregory Santos. Bullpen-wise, Lewis Thorpe, the former Tiger. Lewis Thorpe next to Ramon Oroso. They also have Sean Poppin, Chad Saboka, Ronald Herrera, C.D. Pelham, and Levi Meredith, the 95 overall closer, backstopping that bullpen for them. So, bullpen-wise, we're certainly competitive. I don't know if I could say we're better, but we're not horrifically outmatched. Rotation-wise, it's close. They probably have the slight edge, but I'm not afraid. Lineup-wise, let's see if I'm afraid of this. Kind of. Andreas Perez leading off for them, 89 overall. They have Estevan Florial, also there, hit 295 this season. Nolan Gorman, 96 overall, 963 OPS this season. He's going to be a lot to handle. They also have Seth Beer at first base, the 34-year-old, at a 92 overall. Leody Taveras, Jesus, 20 home runs, 84 RBIs, and a 308 average for him, 89 overall. Marcos Hernandez really struggled. He wasn't their starter for the majority of the season. You have to wonder if Ahmed Rosario will be playing. I would assume so. Willie Calhoun, also very effective for them. So they have some good options off the bench. Josh Young, 256 average, their DH currently. They have Devin Mann and Connor Wong at catcher. So in terms of how we line up, it's tough to say. It's tough to say. I would like to think, off of what I've seen, that we should probably have enough to win. I can't say with the utmost certainty, though, but I think we should be okay. I hope. Kansas City beats Boston in the wild card. They'll be taking on Baltimore. Let's get this going. We've waited long enough. It is finally playoff time for Detroit. We're going to go into quick manage. I'm horrified of quick manage still. Anyone who's ever watched a series of mine knows that I'm horrified of quick manage, but that's what we're going to do. And we'll jump in, if necessary, in certain high-pressure situations. Although, God, doesn't it scare the ever-loving hell out of me. We're at home for Game 1. I am going to go with my gut, and it's going to be Alan Boykin, who was our best pitcher this year, who gets rewarded. Worst case scenario, we have Linder, and we have Francis that we can bring from out of the pen if we need to. Alan Boykin's getting the start. Might be controversial. Lineup-wise, I feel good with what we have. It's just time to find out how it goes down. Let's see what Boykin can do. Fly out there. Florial, nothing. Gorman, nice 1-2-3 inning to start. Can we get anything going offensively? Summers with a 2-out single. Mosley, 2-run shot. That's a great way to start. Talk about the power game of Ralph Mosley. He makes contact. It goes. Mosley puts us up 2-0 early on. What a decision that was. Not a difficult one to make, but to have Summers and Mosley as the 1-2 punch. Another single, this one for Mendoza. We're going to go for the steal. He gets it. Can Parra drive him home? No, he cannot. But we do get to Yamamoto early. Let's see if Boykin can shut them down from here. He walks Taveras. Hernandez flies out. Young flies out. Not bad. Not a bad start at all. Can we get anything going here? Valentine, we're going to go for the steal. He gets caught. Quevedo pops up. That's all right. I'm cool with being perhaps overly aggressive. Boykin with the walk to start things off. See what else we can do here as, again, Boykin shutting them down. So far, Cabral with the solo shot. I told you, man, we have so much power through this lineup. Cabral with a solo shot. It's now 3-0 as the next two ground out, but we're off to a very good start here. As Seth Beer walks, Taveras flies out, Hernandez walks. 2 on, 2 outs for Josh Young, and he's down to a fielder's choice. So Alan Boykin off to a tremendous start. No hits through 4 innings. Mendoza with a leadoff single. He gets the steal. You know what? Parra, can you bunt him over? Yes, you can. Miggy, sac fly. Yes, there we go. I'll play small ball to get that extra run on the board. Valentine grounds out. We're up by 4 through 4. We'll see what Boykin can do here. Ground out there. Wong strikes out. Perez gets the first hit of the game for the Rangers. Florial can't follow up with it, though. Let's see, bottom of the 5th. Quevedo doubles to start things off. Brown, let's play small ball. Can you get him over? As they take out their starter, Yamamoto's done. The former Tiger, Lewis Thorpe, is on. Let's see if we can bunt him over here. We do. Cabral sac fly. Perfect. Again, might be a bit too conservative playing small ball, but I don't care. Every insurance run counts. Summers walks. Mosley strikes out. Unfortunate, but we are up 5 here. Gorman grounds out. Beer, Tavares, 1-2-3 inning. Alan Boykin is making himself a hero here. Mendoza walks. Gets the steal. Parra can't bunt him over. Miggy grounds out. Valentine grounds out, so we waste that chance. To the 7th we go, though. Still up by 5. Hernandez, young man, 1-2-3. Young man, I said there's no reason to, I can't work that into a Village People thing. Quevedo strikes out. I'm a bit worried about him in the series. Brown singles. Cabral strikes out. Summers flies out. We go to the 8th. Boykin against Wong, strikeout. Perez grounds out. Florial flies out. My God. Alan Boykin with the pitching performance of the century. Mosley, Mendoza walks. Go for the steal. He gets it. Parra can't bring him home. Coronado walks. 2 on, 2 outs for Scottie Valentine. He's down to a fielder's choice. We go to the 9th. Nolan Gorman. It's a 3-4-5 test here for Boykin. Gorman grounds out. Beer grounds out. Alan Boykin, complete game shutout of the Texas Rangers in game 1. He allows 1 hit in this game, 4 walks, and 7 Ks. Alan frickin' Boykin with one of the best pitching performances we have ever seen in a playoff game on this channel in the past few years. That is absolutely tremendous. Big games for Cabral, from Mosley with this 1 hit, but it did some damage. Very, very good. Parra, Coronado, and Valentine struggled, but the latter 2 at least drew a walk in that game. So I can't say I'm all that upset. We got to their ace early. Thorpe did a great job of shutting us down. He only allowed 1 hit, but the good thing is we did that damage very early on. We take game 1 and start things off on a much higher note this time out. We're going to jump right into game 2 and see if we can keep up that momentum as Cole Winn takes the mound for the Rangers. He'll be going up against the rookie, Bobby Gaucho. It's a tough spot to put Gaucho in, but we're going to see what he can do. Again, that worked for us in game 1, using a player who deserved that opportunity off of what we had seen from him all season long. We're going to see what happens here. Big spot for the rookie, and he gives up a hit to the very first batter that he faces. And yes, I do the pickoff every single time. 2 on, 1 out here. Beer strikes out. Tavares drives in a run. So Gaucho getting roughed up a little bit early. Young with a 3-run shot with 2 outs. And that is not exactly the dream start for Bobby Gaucho in the playoffs. It is 4-0 Texas. They didn't get a single run on the board in the last game, and they show up determined today. See if Gaucho can have a better second outing. Perez reaches on an error. Single for Rosario. Gorman grounds out. We're out of that, thankfully. But not a great start. Leadoff single from Mosley. Mendoza reaches on an error. Parra strikes out. Coronado, bases loaded now for the German Scottie Valentine. Grand slam, no way. Scottie Valentine, who is not a power hitter by any stretch, clears the bases. This game is tied. Power throughout the lineup, though. Oh my God. This game is tied. A grand slam for Scottie Valentine. We're tied through 2 innings. Unbelievable stuff. But a walk and a 2-run shot puts Texas back up on top. Bobby Gaucho, you're going to make it through this, buddy, one way or another. Pinch runner early on for them. And why? Who the hell knows? It didn't really work out for them. 6-4 Texas. See if the offense can get going again. Ralph Mosley is unreal. Oh, he's unreal. We're tied at 6. And we're tied no longer. Mendoza makes it 7-6. The long ball reigns supreme. They are already done with Cole Winn. He doesn't even make it through 3 innings. Parra walks. Coronado singles Scottie Valentine into a fielder's choice. Quevedo walks, bases loaded, 2 outs for Chad Brown. He strikes out. Unfortunate. I'm sticking with Gaucho against my best instincts here. 2-out single for Gorman. Beer grounds out. So there we go. We're looking okay. Cabral leadoff single. Summers pops up. Mosley flies out. Mendoza drives him out on an RBI triple with 2 outs. It's 8-6 as they make a defensive substitution and a pitching change. Parra strikes out. Let's see if we can get one more inning out of Bobby here. Taveras, Young, Florial. Beautiful from the rookie. Coronado, leadoff single. Valentine, Quevedo, Brown, nothing doing from there. Bobby, I'm going to trust you. I'm not. Bobby, you've done well. You outlasted Cole Winn. You've done well. Let's bring on Gerald Short. He's our top reliever. Leba, Wong, Perez. Great job there. Cabral, Summers, 1-out single. Mosley walks. Smart move. Mendoza, lead runner thrown out after the single. Parra walks, bases loaded, 2 outs from Miguel Coronado. No way. No way, man. 2 grand slams in a single game for the Tigers. It's 12-6. Unbelievable. As Scottie Valentine faces Lewis Thorpe and he strikes out. That is unreal. Coronado, and Miguel Coronado's 4 for 4 in this game, by the way. And he has a grand slam. Unbelievable. This team, though, this is what I can't help but wonder if this would have happened had I not accidentally simmed, as Gerald Short's in a little bit of trouble here. We're going to give him room to get out of it, and he doesn't. A bases-clearing double. It's 12-10, so Gerald Short shits the bed, unfortunately. We're going to have to bring in Silva to get us out of it. Sack bunt the runner over to third. Wong can't drive him home. So a 4-run top of the 7th. Gerald Short really lets us down, unfortunately. But Quevedo with a leadoff double. That's huge. Can Brown bunt him over? No, he can't. Cabral walks. Summers into a fielder's choice. Mosley can't bring him home. So we go to the 8th. Up 12-10. We've hit 2 grand slams in this game, and it's not over. Perez with a single. Rosario strikes out. Gorman singles. Silva, you got to get out of this, buddy. And the fucking Rangers take the lead. 13-12. Because our pitching staff has fallen apart. We go to the bottom of the 8th, down by 1. Herrera's brought on. Mendoza flies out. Parra flies out. Coronado's out for the first time. There is a chance that we're about to lose a game where we hit 2 grand slams. There is a legitimate chance. And I'm not too happy. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Here we go. Scottie Valentine against Levi Meredith, the 95 overall closer. Strikes out. Quevedo flies out. Chad Brown grounds out. The Rangers just won a game in which they gave up 2 grand slams. 13-12. If it sounds like I can't believe it, it's because I genuinely cannot. 12 runs, and we lost. That is astonishing. That is absolutely astonishing that our 2 best relievers let us down to that extent. It looked like the best idea was to go from Gaucho to the bullpen, and ultimately, that's what cost us the game. Legitimately stunned that we are not up 2-0 in this series as we head down to Arlington. That is stunning. Mitch Vargas takes the mound. I am now very, very much afraid of what's happening here. Mendoza's been phenomenal. We're going to move him to the leadoff spot. Miguel Coronado is going to be moved up. Quevedo's been okay. I'm not going to take anybody out of the lineup yet, but we need to see some better results from certain people there. So we'll see what happens here. Game 3. I mean, if our offense keeps playing like this, any ounce of pitching will get us a win. But so far, it's been brutal. Mendoza, Cabral, and Summers, nothing doing to start off, as Vargas does well in return. A one-out walk for Coronado. Quevedo strikes out. Valentine into a fielder's choice, so not much of an offensive display thus far. Taveras is on. Florial singles. Devin Mann in at second. Can't bring him home. Brown, Parra, Mendoza, and right now this is a pitching duel, and that concerns me considering the state of our pitching since last game. Not looking good. It's amazing that we went from a complete game shutout with one hit to allowing 13 runs and losing, despite scoring 12 of our own. But that's where we are, and Young brings in Taveras on an RBI double. 1-0 Texas. Florial reaches on an error, and it's bases loaded now for Wong, who drives in a run. It's 2-0. Perez can't bring home anybody else, but 2-0 Texas, as our offense has not shown up thus far. And we got a 1-out, or 2-out single from Valentine, but he gets caught stealing. Vargas, you're staying in for the moments. I might regret this. I might regret this. I might regret this. I regret it. Bases clearing double with 2 outs. It is 5-0 for the Rangers. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. It's gonna be Rivera that's brought on. As he walks the first batter that he faces, but gets out of the inning. We have 1 hit through 5. I am going to be, I gotta be honest, extremely angry if after the way we started this series, we end up losing. Because we should be able to handle it. Cabral finally does something. Summers can't bring him home. Mosley can't bring him home. Coronado does, though. A 2-run shot. It's now a 3-run lead. Solo shot to follow it up from Quevedo. It's 5-3 as Valentine flies out. So we have life heading into the latter innings of this game. A nice 1-2-3 inning there. Chad Brown, you don't get a hit here. You're sitting next game. He pops up. He's probably done. Parra, probably going to be sitting next game too. Mendoza with a 2-out double. Cabral can't bring him home. We go to the 8th. Florial with a leadoff double. Mann grounds out. Wong grounds out. Perez grounds out. We're in the 9th. Summers leads off. Against Meredith, he walks. Mosley can't bring him home. Coronado walks. Carlos Quevedo strikes out. Scottie Valentine flies out, and the Rangers win Game 3 by the score of 5-3. A 2-0 series lead has been stolen away from us to the point where we're now down 2-1 in this series, and I think you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm not very happy about it. Not very happy about it at all. I mean, even if you look at the batting averages and the ERA, it's astonishing that we're not, like, that this isn't the chance to win the series right here, essentially. So I don't know what to say. Ken Linder is going to get the start. I mean, he was our ace heading into the season. Lineup-wise, though, we have some decisions to make, don't we? Scottie Valentine's going to be hitting last in this order, but Chad Brown and Jaime Parra are not going to be playing. They're just not. So Newton's probably going to be in. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to have to be. I think Lee is the odd man out here because Quevedo has done okay. Newton's going to be in at short, and Charley Mares is going to be in at right. Because Lee has no secondary positions. Summers can play third, but I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have Mares, Newton, Valentine, and then the rest of the lineup. It's a bit of a tough call. I think we're going to go Mendoza leading off, Quevedo. It is a really tough call. Justin Summers isn't doing what we need him to do. We're going to go Coronado, Mosley, Summers, and Cabral. That is the lineup for Game 4. A chance for Texas to end this series, or we will force Game 5 back at home. Are we going to choke away a legitimate chance at winning a series here? Mendoza with a leadoff double. Quevedo bunts him over. Coronado can't get the sac fly. Mosley can't bring him home either. So a nice wasted opportunity early on. We'll see if Texas wastes an opportunity of their own. They wasted it, and they did. Let's see. Shut down in order there. can Ken Linder do? 2-out single for Florial. Follow-up single. Florial in scoring position. He's driven home by Connor Wong. 1-0 Texas. Through 2. Newton, a nice little leadoff single there. Gets caught stealing. Valentine singles. Gets the steal. Mendoza can't bring him home. Quevedo can't bring him home, as we are already in the habit of wasting base runners. Fun stuff. Gorman walks. Beer singles. Taveras, fielder's choice. Josh Young drives them both home. How many bases clearing doubles have we seen? 3-0 for the Rangers through 3. Jordan Yamamoto, of course, back on for them. We roughed him up in game 1. He's shutting us down here, though. Summers with a 2-out single. Cabral walks. Charley Mares strikes out. Not making the most of this opportunity is Charley Mares, as we were able to get the pick off there. And eventually we're out of the inning. So 3-0 through 4. Newton grounds out. Valentine singles. Gets the steal. Mendoza grounds out. Quevedo grounds out. Very frustrating effort thus far. Single for Gorman. Taveras, nothing. Young singles. 2 on, 2 outs for Florial. He walks. Bases loaded for Devin Mann. And he cannot deliver. So we're through 5 in a must-win game and struggling. Can we take care? Can we take advantage of Coronado being on first? 2 walks here. Cabral. Bases loaded for Charley Mares. And he drives in 2 runs on a single. It's a 1-run game. Newton strikes out. Valentine walks. Bases loaded. 2 outs for Jeff Mendoza. He'll face Ramon Aroso. And he's out in the fielder's choice. Brutal. We have already wasted quite a few base runners. And here, it's going to have to be Silva. We got to see if we can get a better effort out of him. He gives up a hit to Wong. Perez on a fielder's choice. Rosario flies out. Gorman's hit by a pitch. Seth Beer. All right, Silva, you're done. Bring on Montez. Taveras reaches on an error. We're falling apart. Young, it's 4-2 through 6. Quevedo, Coronado, Mosley ties it with 1 swing of the bat. Thank God somebody's showing up. We're tied at 4. Summers flies out. Cabral singles with 2 outs. Mares can't bring him home, but the damage is done. Florial, Mann, Wong, nothing doing there. Newton leads off the 8th. Grounds out. Valentine, Mendoza, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Bottom of the 8th. Leadoff single for Perez. Rosario doubles. Gorman walks. That's it for Montez. Eric Encarnacion's on to try and get us out of it. Beer strikes out. Taveras drives in a run on a sac bunt. Young walks. Florial brings in 2. We're down 7-4 in the 9th in a must-win game. Quevedo against Meredith. He grounds out. Coronado grounds out. The Detroit Tigers crash and burn out of the playoffs. And I don't think I've been this mad over seeing a team lose in the postseason in a very, very long time.